Jessica, nice to meet you.
Jessica Murphy, how are you?
Hi. Lauren.
Nice to meet you. Dustin? Dustin, how are you? Good.
Hello, Governor Murphy. I'm Jen. Hi. Nice to meet you.
Dustin?
Hi. Nice to meet you.
Excuse me, Madam President. I'm good, thank you.
Jen, nice to meet you.
You good, Dan? Come by. Zakia, you got enough room?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome to Mercer County Community College. We are so very excited and honored to have our governor, Philip Murphy, joining us today. And on behalf of our 13,000 credit students, 5,000 non-credit students, 1,000 employees, we want to welcome our governor to our campus. We ordered a sunny day, but we didn't get the temperature right. So sorry about that. But we didn't have snow.
We don't have snow. You're batting 500.
Yes, so we're good. We're good. And it is truly a great moment for us, for Mercer County Community College. We are so pleased that 7 of our students, representing all different disciplines, different walks of life, are joining us. And our governor has a lot in common with you, our students, the future of this great state of New Jersey. Because our governor was born into a family that they can call it a middle-class family on a good day, in the governor's own words.
That's right.
I'm borrowing your own words.
Yeah.
Don't charge me for plagiarism or something, you know.
Particularly at an institution of higher education.
Yeah. So, governor's father only graduated from high school. The mother worked as a secretary. That may surprise many of you. And the governor put himself through Harvard with the student loans and part-time jobs. Do they sound familiar to you? Loans and part-time jobs? Yes. And that really shaped the governor's commitment to education. And that's why he is deeply committed to building a stronger and fairer New Jersey. And he wants to lift a lot more people by offering community colleges to many people. The more educated people we have, the more people will be lifted. And the more people are lifted, our economy will be lifted. And that is why it's our great honor to welcome our governor, Phil Murphy.
Thank you so much, Madam President. Wow. Thank you. Thank you, President Wong. This is a real treat to be here today. This is a great institution in our state's higher educational system, and I'm really honored to be here today with you, with our Acting Secretary of Higher Education to my left, Zakia Smith-Ellis, my friend Assemblyman Dan Benson. Always a pleasure, Dan. And I think most importantly, I think we'd all agree with 7 outstanding students who we're really looking forward to hearing from. And again, thank you for your gracious introduction and for your leadership of this great institution. Just a couple of brief comments, because we're mostly here to, I know myself and Zakia and Dan want to have a couple of brief words, but we're mostly here to listen to the students with us today. We think, I have a personal passion, but I think more broadly, we believe that community college is a linchpin opportunity for us. That for a relatively modest amount of money, we can make it accessible and available to a whole lot more students, both students who are 18 years old coming out of high school, as well as folks who are coming back after years to come back to it. Dan and I were just talking about that very reality walking down the hall here. So students of all walks of life. And again, by the way, we're the most diverse state in the nation. And if you come to a college like this, it's as good an example of that diversity as any we have. And look around this table if you need any proof or evidence of that. You know, I studied a report that McKinsey, the consultancy firm, put out coming up about 9 months or a year ago. And it was a report on the prospects and the future of the innovation economy in particular. Now, that's a big one for us. It's not the only economy. By the way, there are lots of different economies that matter. This is a big one. It's one of the biggest. And they made an observation. They basically said, listen, New Jersey was dealt a great hand. We've blown it over a period of years. But the good news is we can reclaim that. We can reclaim our momentum. And it said, oh, if you do the following things. And on that list of the things was they made the observation that we would be in that innovation economy short of what they call middle skills jobs. Now, these are very good paying jobs, but they're not PhD, and they're north of a high school diploma. They're right in the sweet spot of what you all do day in and day out on this campus. And that an investment into the education system that could flip that gap into a surplus, or at least meeting the demand, would be one of the most important things we could do in our state in terms of investment. And in particular, investing in community colleges. And so Mercer County Community College is as good an example of that as any, making it over a short period of years accessible and free for everybody is something that we've come to, that we really believe in. We can't do it, there's good news and bad news, we can't do it overnight because it's not free. But we believe, the good news is we believe, and Zakia is overseeing this day to day, we believe we could get there in a short number of years. So we think in particular we can get there over the course of 3 years. So in our budget, which as you rightfully pointed out is an extension of our theme of a stronger and fairer New Jersey that works for everybody, we have $50 million in that budget dedicated as the first major down payment on free community college for everybody. Zakia can get into this in more detail. It's basically split between two buckets. One bucket is $45 million, and that's sort of last dollar money for families that are already getting some assistance that are below a certain income level. And that's the big bulk of the $50 million investment. The other $5 million is capacity building to go directly to the 21 county community colleges to be able to build up their capacity, in particular with the notion of retention and graduation. So you want to get both pieces of that working. So we're going right to the income levels in the families and the students that need the help the most, that may already be getting some help, but they need that last dollar help to get them over the goal line. And at the same time, we're building up capacity at the colleges themselves. This is, again, the first year, a major down payment. We believe we can achieve the ultimate objective of free community college for everybody, regardless of your circumstances, in 3 years. That'll make us one of the few states in the United States that'll do that. It's not today's topic, but we're also beginning a similar process that'll probably take a little bit longer and cost more money to extend pre-K as a universal notion to everybody in this state. When we achieve at both ends of the spectrum, stretching the K through 12 reality into pre-K and extending the 12 into an associate's degree, we'll be the only state in the United States that will have done that. So I'm honored to be here, Madam President, with you today, with the students, with the faculty, administrators. It's now my honor. I want to turn to the persons to my left, beginning with our Acting Secretary of Higher Education, Zakia Smith Ellis, and then after Zakia, our dear friend, Assemblyman and Leader Dan Benson. Zakia, honored.
Thank you. I want to thank Governor Murphy. I want to thank President Wong. I want to thank Assemblyman Benson for their leadership, and I had the pleasure to meet President Wong earlier and in my time in New Jersey, and I just know we appreciate her leadership and stewardship of the work here in Mercer County. We're looking forward to just working with the entire higher education community on not only this proposal, but the other affordability initiatives and making sure that students are able to graduate. So we're looking forward to that. I'm not going to talk for too long. We really love to talk to students. We want to be working with students as well, so we want to make sure that we're hearing from you. I got into education because I like working with students, and then you end up in one of these jobs and you don't get to see them every day. So
Amen.
I'm really thankful for this opportunity today, and I'm thankful for the governor for his leadership and prioritization of education from pre-K all the way through higher education. Thank you.
Great, thank you, Zakia. I think you guys are you sharing that, or do you want?
Yeah, we'll share, that's fine. I just want to say first, thank you, Governor, for choosing Mercer particularly, and I want to thank President Wong for putting this together, and Secretary Smith Ellis, again, for being a part of this and listening to our wonderful students here. Mercer County Community College holds a special place in my heart. I get to work with a lot of our high school kids in my hometown of Hamilton through Key Club and through other community service groups, and Mercer is often their first choice because they know it's the key to them getting the higher education that they need. But for my own family, Mercer's been very, very special for me. My older brother got his computer graphics and computer science degrees here, and he's gainfully employed for over 20 years in that field, doing computer work. And my brother-in-law is actually a student here now, and he is like one of the stories that we hear is someone who had some college degree but didn't finish college, and after working in the private sector for a number of years decided to go back to school and was able to do that because of the programs here at Mercer. And so I'm really interested in kind of hearing the stories from our students here because I know that'll help us better understand. But I'm really excited by the leadership of our governor when it comes to looking at the future for college affordability, because we need a new direction, and I'm glad to see that we're moving in that direction now.
You're the best. Listen, we're not here to talk about the four-year initiatives, but we got a lot of things that are directed at 4 years as well, but today's a community college day. I think we're going to come around this way. Does that sound right to you?
Sounds great.
Jen, you're first up to bat. Is that okay?
Yes,
I think you may
absolutely.
all have to share the microphone a little bit there, right?
You're good.
I'm so sorry. Hello, everyone. I'm Jen. I am a student here at Mercer County Community College. My major currently is business administration. Granted, I plan to transfer to a four-year institution and major in economics with a focus on public policy. So I'm a non-traditional student. I first attended Rider University for a brief time, but had to leave due to health reasons. I then took about a year and a half off from school, working and really just putting all my ducks in order. After I worked, I decided that I really did need to get my education. It's something that I wanted, and it was something that was going to further my career path. So I grew up in Lawrence and currently live in Lawrence still. And I knew Mercer by reputation and by a number of friends who had attended this college. So I decided Mercer would be the way to go based on affordability and its great reputation for its academics as well as extracurricular activities. Since coming here, I've had nothing but wonderful experiences, both academically with my professors, who really go above and beyond, and in extracurriculars. I'm currently the president of the Student Government Association. Additionally, to pay for my education, I work part-time here at Mercer. I work 29 and a half hours every week, which goes towards tuition and some living expenses. And
What kind of work?
I work at Student Life and Leadership as their administrative specialist.
Great.
So it's mostly secretarial work.
Love that.
So if hopefully you were to complete this plan within 3 years to offer free tuition for county college students, I know that it would help so many. if I was to go off my own experiences, it probably would have allowed me to go full-time at school instead of working
Yep.
part-time and going to classes part-time, which condenses the timeline of graduation.
Yep.
And you can't get time back, right?
Right.
Additionally, it would be much less stressful, and I could also focus on future career goals with lots of internships, externships, things like that. So I think it's a wonderful initiative, and thank you so much for being here.
My honor. I have to refer to you with your proper title of Madam President.
Oh, please.
I apologize for being so colloquial in my reference to you. Thank you for those great words. Do you mind sharing, Dustin, I think you're up next. Jen, thank you, and Dustin, great to have you here.
Hi, my name is Dustin. I've been here at Mercer since 2013. What's it called? Let's see. I've been here throughout, like, when the cost of tuition was like a little bit lower. Like throughout the years, it's increased a little bit more, and now that I'm in the professional phase of my nursing program, it's been a little bit tougher to make ends meet.
Nursing is your
Yes.
concentration?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Make that clear earlier, but
Non-traditional.
yeah, it's been a little bit tougher. I work per diem as a nursing assistant. My mom helps me pay for it. She's a nurse too. The price for books too has been like really expensive.
Yep.
It's in the $1,050 range, so it's it's a bit tough. But I think making tuition a little bit free would be really beneficial for everyone. So,
When do you expect to get your degree?
2 years from now.
2 years from
In
now.
2019.
So again, this is back to Jen's point, you can't,
Yep.
time is a precious commodity, right? So if
Yes.
you had the ability to get free access, I assume you would have been able to condense that.
Yep,
Oh, yeah,
absolutely.
definitely.
You don't have to work as much, and then you can spend more time.
Well, yeah.
Exactly.
Over
I mean, I try to work whenever I
63%
can.
of Mercer students study part-time.
Study part-time, absolutely.
Over
Yep,
63%.
Yep. The good news is you still have a long road ahead,
Oh,
which
yeah.
is good in terms of life and career, so.
Mhm. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dustin. Chijoke, nice to have you with us today. What's your nameplate there, Dustin?
Yeah. Good.
Here
Good
we go.
morning. I'm Chijoke Ibe. I'm in the physical therapy program.
Could you get that microphone closer to you, do you mind?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Good.
I'm Chijoke Ibe. I'm into the physical therapy program. I was born in Nigeria. I want to use this opportunity to share my story a little bit so that we have a good background of it. I have good education. I studied in Sweden. I have 2 master's degrees. After that, I went back to my country. I was working in projects that deals with HIV and AIDS and others. But I was working in the northern part of Nigeria, which has been invaded by terrorists, Boko Haram and others.
Yep.
In fact, the last assignment I did in Nigeria, I left the hotel in the morning. The evening of that day, the hotel was bombed.
Jesus.
So I didn't have any option than to come to the United States. I came here in 2013. So when I came here with a lot of dreams.
2013?
2013. I came here with a lot of dreams because I want to help myself, help my family, help in growing the economy of this country. But the problem is this, with all these degrees I have, despite that my education was from a very good institution in Sweden. Governor Murphy, you were the ambassador of US to Germany. Maybe you know Lund University in Sweden. That's
Yeah.
where I attended. But unfortunately, I couldn't get any good job here. So right now, I work in a group home where I get paid $10 an hour. So and this is similar to a lot of immigrated families here in the US. So, and my goal was not to get stuck in $10 an hour job, or maybe I have a family, I have a daughter. So I now enrolled in a physical therapy program, but the greatest challenge is, in fact, I wasn't even qualified for financial aid because I was told because I have degrees that I'm not qualified. So right now I pay out of pocket, and it's been very, very hectic. So my family has not been what it should be,
Yep.
and I know a lot of people that even came from my country too, that when they came here, they started with this type of menial jobs, and Mercer County helped them. They enrolled in nursing programs, and now they are living very big. They are able to buy houses, buy good cars, and give good education to their families.
Yep.
And so that's what I want to do when I enter this program. But you see, I don't have money to do it. Right now, I pay with credit cards, which I'm owing some thousands in credit card right now. But it's not discouraging me. And I know that if this education is made affordable or free, it will grow the economy of this state. I'll have a lot of people from other countries, immigrated families here,
Yep.
that want, in fact, when they come in, they look at some of us as point of, they'll be like, how did you make it? So man will tell them how we'll start and how everything went.
Yep.
I'm sure it will help in growing the economy of this country. So Governor Murphy, if it's possible, I'm begging in the name of God to make this education very, very
God bless
affordable.
you.
If
Yeah.
it's free, that would be awesome. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Did you come right from Nigeria to Mercer County?
Yes, right from Nigeria, I came here.
Why Mercer County?
Well, one, I live here, it's affordable, and
Yep.
the education here, I've heard about the professors, they are very, very friendly, awesome, and, anything good, that is what they are.
That's huge. Great answer. Thank you for sharing that story. No, Jessica's good. We got this. Jessica, good morning.
Hi, good morning.
How are you?
My name's Jessica. I'm 19 years old, so I came straight from high school to Mercer.
Where'd you go to high school?
Steinert High School. I'm a full-time student. I'm also a full-time athlete here, and I work part-time as a preschool teacher.
What sport, if I may ask?
Basketball.
All right. How's the team this year?
Eh,
All right, that's
not gonna lie.
for separate roundtable.
We had good days.
Yeah, no,
Okay.
we did pretty good.
Okay. And you work part-time as a?
Yes, at the Learning Experience as a preschool teacher.
Mhm.
So I come from a single-parent household, so, my mom works 2 jobs and struggle financially. So at a time, it was very, you either, don't, drop school and, work for full-time, help, or play basketball, and, they helped financially. So, if I didn't do that, I probably wouldn't be in school because of, like I said, financial reasons and stuff. And coming out of high school, it's, you don't have this amazing paying job. It's something
Yep.
minimum wage. And so all these loans, when you kind of get out of school, they build up, and you don't have this great paying job yet. So I feel like if, school was free, it would be a lot easier, and just going to class would be a lot easier. A weight isn't on your shoulder,
Yep.
knowing once I get out of here, I have all these loans to pay. And, so I feel like it would be a step in the right direction
Yep.
just for all of us, because we know, okay, when we get out of here, we
Right.
don't have this big weight that we have to pay off all this stuff. And also books, like they said, books are not cheap here. So,
No, that's right.
so that's how I feel about it.
Was this a no-brainer to come here? Was this your number
Yeah,
one choice?
I didn't apply to any universities. I'm very into going to school, getting it done, and then
Yep.
work, pay it off.
Yep.
I wasn't very into going into a university at all.
And your major is?
My major is liberal arts. I
Liberal
want
arts.
to eventually go to. I was accepted to William Patterson through Mercer.
Yep.
So I'm going to do the psychology program there. I'd like to be a children's psychologist.
So you're here, get your associates, then go to William Patterson,
Yeah,
get your
but
bachelor's.
on
On
Mercer's
campus.
campus.
On campus, fantastic,
Yes.
that's right.
Yeah.
That's huge, okay. Well said.
Thank
I
you.
hope the team is
Me too.
strengthens over the off-season. Lauren, honored to have you with us.
Thank you so much. My name is Lauren Ralph. I'm 21 years old, and I am definitely a non-traditional student. I'm actually not enrolled. I am a non-credit student. I completed my veterinary assistant certificate program, and I was actually hired at Princeton Animal Hospital, where we do our externships. I did complete my accredited veterinary assistant certification. I am approved and noticed nationwide. And I have a personal anecdote that I would like to share, if I may,
Please.
about how Mercer County and college saved my life. This is kind of for all the people who find themselves in life saying, oh my goodness, I did not expect for any of this to happen. My initial dream was to be a nurse. I wanted to be an RN, kind of like Dustin over there. And I found myself at the age of 18 years old taking care of someone who had glioblastoma multiforme. And for those of you who don't speak medical terms, that is a terminal brain tumor. And that person was not someone who I was involved with in the medical field. That was my best friend and my husband. I got married when I was 18 years old. I had to sacrifice my education. I had to sacrifice my job. I completed some nursing school. I was living at the time in Florida, and I was paying $20,000 per semester, spending $800 or more on books. And I know I'm speaking, in terms of out of state right now, but it's kind of, the same everywhere. I went to Kaiser University in Florida for nursing. He passed away after a year and 6 months of marriage, and I found myself in a hole that I could not get myself out of. So I had to get back up on my own 2 feet. I had to find a job, and after spending so much time in the hospital, chemotherapy, I didn't want to be a nurse anymore. So I had to kind of scrape the bottom of the barrel here and kind of figure out what I wanted to do. And that's when I heard about the Veterinary Assistant Certificate Program from one of my friends. It gave me the opportunity, and it was affordable. Coming from someone who me and my husband used to go to Walmart and look in the trash cans for the receipts to scan them for rebates to have money to eat. This was something affordable. This was something where I could take my education with human medicine and put it towards helping animals. And when you go to work and your life is horrible, when you see a dog or a cat, it just goes away.
Yeah.
So I want to thank you for working towards people like me who end up sitting there going, what the hell happened?
Right.
And changing my life and essentially saving my life. So thank you, and thank you for helping all the others in my shoes.
God bless you, Laura. What a story. A couple of questions. Where are you in the certificate program? Are you chopping your way through it, or?
So I finished my certification. I actually got my degree on my birthday.
All right. Happy birthday.
Oh, thanks. It was a while ago. I am currently working full-time and enrolled in an online certification program to become a veterinary technician, and my long-term goal is to be a veterinarian. So I'm kind of balancing the whole work-life tango here.
I can imagine.
Yeah.
And your hope is to stay here in New Jersey?
Ideally.
Great.
Yeah.
Were you able to transfer a number of your credits that you did from Florida to here, or, I know that's always a challenge.
Yeah.
Zero of my credits are transferred to the school that I'm in now. I was originally intending to come to Mercer, but with everything that happened, I just didn't have time.
No, I understand.
Yeah.
That's understandable.
Thank you. Thank you so
Lauren,
much.
bright days ahead. God
Thank
bless
you.
you. All right. Sean, good to have you here, man.
Thank you. Good morning. It's an honor to be here. My name is Sean Thorpe, and I'm a returning student, not your average traditional graduation from high school person, but me being at Mercer, I had to give that credit to my parents because both of my parents attended Mercer. So it was through their influence that I attended Mercer. Once I seen that the doors are open for them, and it even though I'm the only sibling of 3 to pursue further my education after high school, which I didn't do initially right away. When I got out of high school from Trinity High, I entered internship as a laborer. And I did this for a number of while. I joined the hall, and I was doing this, and it kind of wasn't my bill, because it was like I went out on jobs, and it was kind of not working out. But I was thankful that I hadn't had a situation where I had a family, like my former classmates here, that I was able to transition my life to come back, to enroll back in school and further my education, which I'm glad that the benefits of the financial aid program and the other programs that were available to me, I was able to take advantage of these situations once I got at Mercer, which I wasn't aware of until I got here, all the different benefits that the school awarded me once I got here.
Yep.
And coming to Mercer at the JKC campus, I got involved with the student council, government, and there a lot of other doors potentially opened up as scholarship awards, funding that I've got awarded since I've been awarded 3 scholarship awards since I've been here from Wells Fargo, and numerous other awards I've been academic awarded. And none of this wouldn't have happened hadn't I come back. But like right now, I'm on my 3rd semester here. I'm looking to graduate probably possibly in 19. And I also,
What are you majoring in, sorry?
oh, excuse me, my liberal arts.
Liberal arts.
And I plan to transfer out, but I'm undecided, but I'm trying to use the same kind of channels with some of my other classmates did
Yep.
with the basis of Mercer, with one of their connecting schools.
Mm-hmm.
And I just felt like it was a blessing for me coming back here, and the opportunities that was awarded me, I never would have dreamed of or expected them to happen. And, you know, once I got here and I got to the West Windsor campus, I also got involved with the InterVarsity, which was a tremendous help for me because a person at my age at this point come back, it was kind of like a struggle trying to be competitive with the age of trying to learn this stuff at the age that I am. And I just felt honored just being able to be being qualified for all these different awards that was awarded, just like me being here today, which is unexpected, but I'm glad and that I was privileged ever to do so. And I'm honored, and I thank you guys for having me here.
I'm thrilled you're here as well. Great story. Watch your name tag there. Thank you, Sean. You good? Kyle, good morning.
Good morning. My name is Kyle Harrington. So close. I'm 19 years old, and I'm a first-year student here at Mercer. I came directly from high school, and my major is business administration. I'm currently a redshirt athlete here at Mercer, so instead of playing, I actually work part-time at Di Lorenzo's.
What sport?
Baseball.
Baseball,
Yeah,
okay.
baseball.
How's the team?
Good
All right.
this season.
Just
Keeping
checking.
it up, keeping up the reputation.
These guys are good in baseball, aren't they?
Yes,
Yeah, yeah,
they're
yeah,
the national runner-up for the last 3
Yeah.
years.
I love that.
Second
Okay.
place last year.
Yeah.
Gotta catch a game here.
So throughout high school, I was always an AB student, and I've always been a hard worker. So the goal was to get in the STARS program and end up coming to Mercer for free anyway. But my luck, my class was very competitive, so I finished like 60th in the class, I think. So I ended up not making the cut, the top 15%. So if it wasn't for baseball, I was probably going to do a trade, but I ended up coming to Mercer and playing baseball, and I ended up getting some scholarships for school, so I didn't have to pay my first semester. So my parents were going to pay for it if I was playing baseball, but now that I'm not playing, I actually am working now to pay for it. So, I mean, with the fact of not playing baseball, it's hard to have motivation. So the motivation of going to school for free and thinking about I have to take advantage of this for getting this free school, it's definitely, for more students, it would make it more worthwhile for people. But I mean, there's nothing wrong with the trade and going and making money, like they were saying, like they have to work part-time. So I'm going to school full-time with a part-time job, and I mean, it doesn't work out. So my parents are still helping me pay, but I mean, with the free school, I mean, it'd be a huge investment in the students.
Amen. Where was high school again?
Hamilton West.
Hamilton West, okay.
Yeah. I've actually known Mr. Benson for a while now.
Yeah. So,
I know he was going to be on the panel.
that's pretty cool. And as importantly, what position do you play?
Outfield. I used to catch, but now I'm an outfielder.
Outfielder.
Yeah.
Good stuff. And you said you were 60th in your class?
Yeah, it was like 65 or something. And
Yeah.
I think I had like a 3.8 GPA. Like
That's with being on the honor roll.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's crazy.
Yeah,
And it
yeah.
just,
How big's the class?
I think we were 330 last year.
Good God. Well done. To everybody, I mean, these are incredible stories,
It's
Madam
very,
President.
they are incredibly, this student, he's being modest. He is a leader at our Trenton campus.
I love that.
He leads our students.
Is this Sean?
Yeah,
I love
Sean. You know, he's being modest.
Yes, I am a former president of the JCK, excuse me, JKC campus.
Yep.
And while I was here at Mercer, also doing that, I was blessed with the opportunity to do a work study job that was off campus at Young Scholars Institute, where I was able to go there and still continue my education, but work there part-time, where I was able to tutor urban community children in the after-school program. And this was an avenue I never thought I'd be able to do, but this, again, another opportunity that was awarded to me for Mercer, by me returning back to Mercer for my education. And I never thought I'd be there doing this, what I'm doing. Even though I did come back to school to pursue a degree in liberal arts in the field of business, administration, and stuff like that. but I didn't expect myself to be doing the opportunities.
Yes, well said.
Yeah, we have a Trenton campus.
Yep.
That serves about 3,000 students.
I know it
credit
well,
on
yeah.
credit.
In fact, I've been there.
Yeah.
Do a quick, we'll give the folks in the press a chance to ask a question or two, but before we do, just quick buzz around. Jen, I don't want to put you on the spot, but everybody quick, go around. If things work out for you, go 10 years from now, what do you want to be doing? Where do you want to be in life in 2028?
Oh my gosh. I guess.
Probably should ask us the same darn question, right?
I guess I would like to be either working in some fields of public administration in the economic field or as, I guess, a consultant for a large firm.
Maybe advisor for governor.
In New Jersey, right?
Most likely, hopefully, in
Yeah,
New
we're gonna
Jersey.
keep you here, Jen. Dustin, how about you?
I just want to work as a nurse.
Yep.
Well, anywhere. I want to work in the geriatric field, so.
In geriatrics?
Yeah. I work at a rehab facility right now, so I enjoy working with the elderly population.
Good for you, man. I love
Maybe
that.
taking one of us.
You-
Take one of us, right?
Dustin's just answered the question where some of us will be in 10 years under his care.
Yeah.
Chijoki.
Yeah, in the next couple of years, I think I will be a successful physical therapist. In fact, I can't think of leaving this state. When I came newly, I almost went to Texas, but my wife has been here. She was like, no way. Well, she has all her families here.
Yep.
Okay.
So I can't even think of leaving New Jersey. So New Jersey is my home right now.
I love that. So
Stay.
Texas's loss is New Jersey's gain here. Sounds good. Jessica, how about you?
I'd hopefully like to be a psychologist working with children and teens who struggle mentally, like ill and stuff like that. So.
In the school
bless you.
system or just private practice? In school system or private practice?
School system.
yeah.
You're not going to be pursuing the professional hoops
Oh, no.
alternatives, okay? Just checking. I want to make sure. Lauren, how about you?
2028, educated, happy, working with dogs, cats, farm animals, maybe zoo animals, who knows?
That's a good.
Mercer's got it all, so.
Yeah,
Yeah,
might
you-
as well go big or go home.
I love that. Thank you. Sean, how about you?
Well, as for myself, hopefully I'll be gearing inside of some type of nonprofit organization, inspiring other students to come back to get their education if they hadn't got further themselves after high school, and do stuff like I do at Young Scholars Institute, which it enrolls the students in getting them in gear for us pursuing further in high school, getting them ready for the SAT preparations and stuff like that, because a lot of the community base are, I would say that they're not educated enough for how far important education is and the benefits that they're awarded
Right.
if they buckled up and come to these programs, and the blessings that they'll receive if they go through them.
Yep, that's well said. Kyle, playing for the Phillies?
To be completely honest, I have zero clue what I want to do in 10 years. But I mean, if I was banking on something, it'd be professional baseball. But besides that, hopefully living a good life, living in Jersey. I plan to live in Jersey the rest of my life. So hopefully I find a career.
Love that.
Yeah, career throughout business administration, and that's about it. So
That's huge.
banking on baseball.
I mean, 7 extraordinary life stories, and I'm incredibly honored, Madam President, that you would host us, and I'm
Well,
incredibly
well.
honored that we were here to hear these stories.
Well, we're so honored that you're here, and I'm sure our students are so delighted and feeling grateful that we have a governor who is thinking of us.
Well.
Am I speaking for you?
Well, not to lead the witness or anything, but listen, this is something we're very serious about. You know, it's gone from that, you know, a couple of years ago, this seems like a good idea, to this is essential to our future. Somebody made a comment about the budget was a young person's budget. And I think that's an accurate reflection. I hope it's an every person budget. But if you're in your moment in life and you've got the educational and financial challenges, and then looking towards your futures and your careers, we want to be the folks that said, you know what, we put wind in your sails. We can't solve all the challenges in life, but you know, I grew up in the 60s when Presidents Kennedy and Johnson, that was that era at the national level. And I, as the president said, I grew up with nothing. My dad, in fact, didn't even get out of high school. My mom did. But the fact of the matter is government didn't get it done for you. I mean, I think it's fair to say on the best days, government can't solve all of our ills, but it can put wind in your sails. And that's what this is intended to do. And I'm honored to be with you today. Zakia or Dan, any final words of wisdom?
Well, I just think hearing from the students is exactly why we need a strong community college system, why the state needs to have a strong role. We often talk, the original promise was a third tuition, a third state, a third county.
Yep.
As a former freeholder, you know, I got to see over the years how we've kind of fallen from that promise. Obviously, making tuition free over a period of time really helps to bring that promise back to making community college open to everyone, regardless of where their situation in life is, whether you're just coming out of high school, and whether you're full-time, part-time, or coming back. Really, that's the key.
You know, Zakia, any comments?
I would just say, there's so many people that don't think that students work, and the number of you all that are working while going to school, and just hearing that story and how that can sometimes play a role in being able to really finish your credentials was wonderful today. So thank you for sharing.
One of those many myths that
I know, right?
Well, and I just want to
pervade,
point,
right?
I think you brought up a great point. For many of the students, the community college themselves are the key employer while they're going to
Amen.
school.
And
And
we
that's
heard some
another role
examples of
that
that, right?
community colleges play for so many of our students.
And some of the times, the public perception of our low graduation rates, thinking it's not very good public investment for community colleges, because you have graduation rate is so low. Now you hear why.
You bet.
It's not that they are not intellectually capable.
Yep.
They're personally committed. None of that. It's just that the financial burden takes them away.
100%. You know, one other comment, I mentioned $50 million in this budget, and we're trying to get there over 3 years to make it free for everybody. I'm not sure you can multiply 50 by 3. My gut tells me it's a little bit north of that, but we think because in part the role the federal government plays, and may they continue to play that role, this is, you know, we had talked when I was campaigning, and I think this is still, I'll defer to the expert to my left here, and left and right, it's probably a total of a $200 million commitment. It might be a little bit less. I wouldn't marry myself to that. When you look at a budget of $37.4 billion, which is what the budget is that we presented, and you think that a very modest fraction of that can have an impact like the one we're talking about, I think it might be the best investment that I know of that we can make. So again, thank you, everybody. Dan, do we have time for a couple of quickies? Anybody in the back? Please.
Governor, a lot of students here certainly are already getting tuition covered. What's out there for students who have more than your minimum to qualify for? And also, what's the funding mechanism for this? The state's trying to fraction the budget. Other states rely on lottery revenues to fund their free tuition.
Yeah.
What's New Jersey doing with this program?
Well, I'll take the latter one first. This is a budget item. It's not tied to any particular revenue item. Obviously, we've got revenue sources in our budget which we think are the major drivers to get to that stronger, fairer, let's get back to doing what we used to do really well, invest in the middle class and in the dreams of those who aspire to get into the middle class. So it's not tied to a particular funding source. I mentioned it's is it fair to say, I'll have Zakia jump in here, it's a last dollar notion?
Yeah.
So if you're already getting, pardon me here, if you're already getting some funding, maybe easier to move that one, actually.
Okay, yeah, oh, yeah,
Mine
yeah,
is
yeah,
tied up
absolutely,
here.
absolutely.
Um,
Yeah, it's a last dollar scholarship. We did some of the math. I think it's in a release that's coming out today. 20% of students, from what we can tell, are already getting their tuition and fees covered, not just at Mercer County, but just in general at the county colleges. So this would allow us to expand it to 15,000 more, and as the governor said, eventually we want to make sure that all students have that opportunity.
Anybody else? Please.
Governor, so a lot of these students here, they're going to end up probably going to a four-year school after this two-year program, you would think. So how are you going to drive down the costs of the four-year institution as well?
Yep.
It's a great start here for
Yep.
the community system, but now the four-year colleges like a Rutgers or somebody, if they transfer over to as a
Yep. So I haven't said this in a while, but what used to really gall me, I don't know if they still do it, they must do it at acceptance season, but the University of Maine used to have a billboard above the turnpike. It's seasonal that said, you know, come on up and pay us a visit. Our out-of-state tuition is lower than your in-state. And I used to say either we're going to change the math or we're going to burn the billboard down or both. I still stand by that. I don't want to commit any crimes, obviously. I mentioned in passing this is a major explicit statement toward community colleges, but we've got a significant increase in the higher ed budget. I think the two pieces in particular, the EOF money is up meaningfully, Educational Opportunity Fund, to make it more accessible. Tuition assistance grants, I think we have 3,500 of them, Zakia,
Yes.
in the budget, new in the budget. And so those are two programs that go right at that. And I think we're also, if you look at what we're doing, we want to begin to surround institutions of higher education and make the connections deeper into the real economy. And that will, you may say, well, how does that work? Well, the reality is if you look at the higher ed institutions around the country that have been really successful at that, they've got a lot more financial latitude. So if you look at an MIT or a Stanford or a Berkeley or a Harvard or pick some of the big, I'm sorry, Princeton, right down the block, or some of the big state universities, you know, take Rutgers, as you mentioned, one of the great research universities in the country, not just of public universities, one of the great research universities in the country. You might have seen that we had unveiled a pretty cool concept of an innovation hub in New Brunswick. I'm actually going to sit with two CEOs right after this, one of whom is already signed up, another of whom I want to talk to about potentially being part of that. That's an indirect way to sort of deepen roots between the private sector, public universities, rather public or private. That allows us a lot more, first of all, it grows the economy, and allows us a lot more latitude in general and specific to those universities. Maybe one more back here.
Some people are saying that it's one thing to offer tuition in community college to those with financial needs, but for those who can actually afford to pay for it, opening this up to them is actually an inefficient use of government funds.
Yeah.
So how do you justify opening this up to everyone?
I justify it because you could probably make the same comment about a lot of kids who are in the K through 12 system. You know, and my question back would be who died and went to heaven and said that public education is free from K through 12 and not before K or after 12. So there are also kids in that system who you could argue don't necessarily need free education, but they get it. I'm a big believer that education ought to be a right, not a privilege. And I will tell you something, I don't think any of the students up with us, I should be so lucky if you would have called me a kid, by the way. You know, I think you heard a whole lot of stories about life challenges, a lot of work, a lot of extending their years in school because they had to work to afford it. Those stories overwhelm in terms of the amount of, if you look at the kids who are, the students rather, who are in institutions like this.
Kind of on that same point though, so the $50 million that you get in the budget, it's the incremental, you're stepping up, but how do you, like, what does it look like a year from now in terms of who's going to be getting that money? Is it people that like, what is the system for deciding?
I don't know if you were here, and I'll let Zakia fill it in. So I should say one thing that I didn't say earlier. It begins with the second semester next year because we're still obviously baking the budget, and by the time the budget is baked, it's going to be too late for the fall semester. So this is semester 2 of the academic year, January of 2019. Secondly, the big bulk of it is directed at folks that are under an income level, I believe, of $45,000 household income. So that's where it's going to start, and that's where it should start. Maybe one last one, sir, in the back. 100%. I'm sorry. Excuse me. I apologize.
That's fine. Through tuition will bring more students. That will put a lot more pressure on faculty that already have quite a lot of work. With the budget, is there money included in that to increase funding for community colleges to hire more staff?
Yeah, there is not, it is part of the 50 million, but that is something that we've spoken about, and we accept that that's a potential consequence of this. And that's a rich problem. If we're, oh gosh, golly, we need more faculty members and more staff because we've got more students coming into institutions of higher education, sign me up for that challenge. One more in the back, sir.
Would that affect the price of books? Would that increase the price of books, or would that decrease, or would that stay about the same? And on top of that, with the financial aid and FAFSAs that go on now, would there be, or at least to look at that, would there, it doesn't really look, it looks at household income, but it doesn't look at specific situations. Say, both parents work for like the state of New York, state of New Jersey, but they have 4 kids who are all in college. That would be a significant financial burden.
Yeah.
So but that doesn't really constitute into FAFSAs and stuff.
Yep. So on the first point, I don't think it's going to impact the price of books, but it's tuition and fees, right?
Yeah, so you'll have, it shouldn't make the price of books go up, but hopefully frees up some money so that those other things are easy to pay for.
And secondly, I think it's a fair point, because I remember filling these forms out myself. I'm the last person in America who applied to college in Penn, by the way. So I remember writing this with my mother and father at the time. I think it's right now just a gross income test, right?
Yeah.
But
this is why we've got to get to everybody.
Yeah, this is a very fair point. So it's a gross income test now. So if you're below X thousands of dollars, whether you got one person in your household or many, you're going to be eligible beginning in January. But that will go up. That ceiling will go up over time and ultimately encompass everybody. I want to thank, please, Madam President.
Just to respond to the first question a little bit about textbook price, which was raised by our students. I want to share with you, Mercer is absolutely committed to address that issue through exploration of OER, Open Educational Resource.
Great.
So we are trying to reduce the cost, and we have several disciplines on this campus. Communication is one of them, is completely textbook free. So we are not using textbooks.
Yep.
We're using open education resources. So that's another way we are doing it.
Well put. I want to thank the president. I want to thank the faculty and staff. I want to thank Zakia and Dan. And most importantly, I want to thank the students. Absolutely. The 7 of you of whom were up here with us today, and to all of this around this whole campus. Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you. We're going to take a picture with
I would love that.
students.
Let's go.
Yeah.